Good day, this is our fourth video update for Tropical Storm Nock-Ten, formerly Juaning. It is the 28th of July 2011, 09 Zulu, 5 p.m. Philippine time or 6 p.m. Japan time. We have Nock-Ten now moving across the South China Sea or West Philippine Sea, out of the Philippine area of responsibility. It was last located approximately 470 kilometers southeast of Hong Kong. Maximum sustained winds are around 95 kph, gusting to 120. Nock-Ten is moving now west-northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour. And you can see this visible image, the broad circulation and that clouds reaching as far north as offshore of Hong Kong, and also reaching to island province of Hainan here in southern China. Also clouds still affecting much of western Luzon here in the Philippines. In terms of the infrared image, you can also see here the broad convective activity, the strongest mainly to the western half of the storm. You can also see it seems to be the center here. I'm not sure if this is the eye indeed that is forming, but you can still see convective activity, but very broad now, and the eastern half still recovering from that crossing in Luzon yesterday. But it was still expect Nock-Ten to intensify a bit more, since it still has about less than 24 hours before landfall here in Hainan. And you can also see in this microwave image that banding, especially in the lower levels, that again not much on the eastern half, but the western side showing a good signature here. Also here in the 85 gigahertz image, the upper levels, mid levels here doesn't have the activity now in the southern eastern, but western half really good here. In terms of news, signal force #1 is already in effect for Hong Kong, just for standby for squally rain showers. They're moving from the south. As for the Philippines, unfortunately, when it crossed there yesterday, it left 31 dead, and most of them, about 23 people, have died in the Bicol regions there, Camarines Sur, Norte, Albay, and also the other provinces there. As for rains, Clark reported about 100 millimeters, Subic around 235, Manila just 60 millimeters, being well away from the storm center there. Baguio City reporting 102 millimeters, Dagupan just 50 millimeters actually, Casiguran, Aurora just 53 millimeters, yes, for today. But yesterday, remember, they received almost 300 millimeters there. Iba, Zambales also receiving 68 millimeters. So yeah, those light to moderate rains will continue for the most of Luzon and also Visayas, as that southwest monsoon continues to affect much of the country. Mindanao here just partly cloudy, although occasional thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. And yeah, you can also see that the clouds affecting covering much of the Philippines. But as I said in our text update, conditions should gradually improve for much of these areas, especially for the Bicol region, which was hardly hit, again to improve slowly for the next 24 hours or so. Now moving back to Nock-Ten, here we have the latest radar image from Hong Kong Observatory, and you can also see that outer rain bands now beginning to make their way towards the southern half of that region here, but the nearest one approximately 100 kilometers away from the city center. Also you can see those easterly flow producing some light to moderate rain. You also see some cells of heavy rain just northwest of the city. But again, in terms of direct impact, we're not expecting Nock-Ten to bring strong winds or heavy rains, but still signal force 1 is in effect for Hong Kong. Now also the outer rain bands are beginning to make their way through to the Hainan province, and you can also, I showed you earlier, the much of convective activity remains in the western half, and that could prove that could be bad news for Hainan, as it will take on first the western half, and you can also see that the outer rain bands now beginning to make their way as early as today, and could again, that will continue for the next 36 hours as Nock-Ten makes its crossing on the Hainan, on the island tomorrow. The steering layer we have here, the subtropical ridge, still having that influence on Nock-Ten and its general west movement, although it should turn slowly west-northwestward now, and moving across Hainan and then into the Gulf of Tonkin, making a second landfall here in northeastern Vietnam, just southwest of Hanoi by Sunday morning, early Sunday morning Philippine time. The computer models, again, here you can see very close in terms of agreement and in terms of consensus, although I just want to note here CMC model actually forecasting a U-turn for Nock-Ten, and will go back and hit Hong Kong for early next week, although this is unlikely. NOGAP's actually showing that U-turn scenario as well, so we have two models forecasting a U-turn, but again, does seem unlikely, but we'll have to watch for that. It's still medium range, about 3 to 4 days away, so expect any changes for this scenario, but again, I just want to point that out. In terms of the Euro model, and showing Nock-Ten to intensify just below typhoon status as it makes landfall Friday morning Philippine time here in Hainan, and then crossing into the Gulf of Tonkin, and by Sunday it should be inland northern Vietnam, as I said, making landfall approximately 150 kilometers southeast of Hanoi by early Sunday morning. This is Philippine time, and you can also see in this Euro forecast we have Moifa forecast to move well away from the Philippines by Sunday, intensifying as it moves northward. We'll have an update for Moifa, so keep an eye on that, our separate video update for that. In terms of weather agency here for Nock-Ten, again, very close in agreement, forecasting a northern landfall here in Hainan, thinking north of Qionghai city. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, but Qionghai coastal city here, north of that, probably by Friday midday Philippine time, around 2 p.m. in the afternoon perhaps. Again, moving north of Hainan and then into Gulf of Tonkin. Also Hong Kong Observatory showing that more of a southern track here, plowing through central Hainan, and JTWC also agreeing with that central track, showing you JMA again, mostly northern half, and actually touch just south of the Leizhou Peninsula there in southern China. But in terms of agreement, yeah, definitely having a landfall here in Hainan there, and eventually it will move south of Hanoi. The closest point of approach to Hanoi will be about 89 nautical miles by Sunday, and then it should rapidly dissipate as it crosses into Laos here. And you can also see in this JWC map, they're not forecasting Nock-Ten to intensify to typhoon anymore, but it could just strengthen slightly below typhoon status, so will still be a strong storm, and not just winds but heavy rain for the provinces here, and also here in southern Vietnam. Northern Vietnam for the next 3 days here. So that is the forecast again for tropical storm Nock-Ten. For those of you in Hainan and southern China, I suggest you go to cma.gov, the Chinese Meteorological Administration, for the latest updates and the radar image from the website as well. Again, that is the forecast for the day for a tropical storm Moifa. For the latest updates there, kindly watch our other video update for that. I also posted another separate video for that particular storm. Another update for Nock-Ten will be posted again tomorrow, so till then, bye bye.